Hello. Merry Christmas to you all. I hope you are all getting ready for Christmas. Today, I want to share with you briefly about the circle of seasons that we go through in life. God, in His own wisdom, has given us different seasons in life, and these seasons change. It is therefore imperative for us to understand these seasons and to prepare ourselves when the change comes. God has given us different seasons. We have winter, which is cold. It gets dark very early. We have summer, which is sunshine, but very hot. And it doesn't get dark early. We have longer days. We have spring, which is not too cold and not too hot. And that is a time flowers begin to blossom and it's so beautiful. We have fall, where the leaves are falling and it is raining and all that. All these seasons have their, some are good, some are not comfortable. Some people prefer some seasons to other. And in Africa, we have what we call Harmattan, where I come from. During Harmattan season, the weather is very dry and it's so uncomfortable. We also have the rainy season in Ghana, where it is raining, where the farmers, will normally sow their crops. We have the dry season, which is usually dry, but it's not also the Harmattan. So we have all these seasons. And just as we have this season, we as human beings also go through different seasons in our lifetime. We have the season of abundance, the season of joy, the season of peace, the season of God's favor, the season of God's grace, the season of laughter, the season of fruitfulness. And somebody going through this season will sometimes be experiencing, good things happening. We call it a good season. When you are in your good season, things are going on well. The favor of God is upon you. Things are working on your behalf. Your family, sometimes your finances, sometimes your children, sometimes your job, sometimes you have good health. Everything seems to be working well for you. And you are happy, you know that this is my season. This is a good season for me. Everything is going on well. And we also have bad season where, you have dryness, a season of pain, a season of mourning, a season of, emptiness. And you could have problems maybe with your family, with your finances, or any area, any aspect of your life, your relationships. But it is a season where things are not going well. It's a season where you are kind of going through a lot of challenges. And the Bible says in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3, the verse 1, it says that there is a time for everything and a season for everything under the heavens. Now, when you read the verses 2 through 8, you continue to tell us, I can't read all because of time. It tells us that there's a time to be born and a time to die, a time to be happy and a time to be sad, a time to sow and a time to reap, a time to dance and a time to mourn. So we have all these seasons. And just as, winter is so important and then summer is important, Harmattan season, God knows that we cannot have only one season throughout the year. I mean, just imagine if we had only summer throughout the year, or if we had only winter throughout the year, what is going to happen to our vegetation? What is going to happen to us? What is going to happen to, the animals and all that? So God in His wisdom knows that one season will not be able to keep the vegetation or to make the vegetation survive, and even the survival of the human being and for us to be able to live. And that is why we have all these. So all the seasons are necessary for the survival of the vegetation and for the survival of the animals and the human beings. In the same way, these seasons that we go through in life, the bad seasons and the good seasons, we need all of them. They are all important. Some of them, we go through them to learn lessons. Some of them, we go through them so that we can grow. Some of them, we go through them to prepare us to move into a different stage of life. They are all very important. Some of them come and they are very painful. Some of them come and they are so exciting. Some of them come and they bring us joy. But we need all of them because they are all very, very important. Now, the thing is, when we are going through these seasons, what is important is our attitude. Our attitude, when we are in our good seasons, where everything seems to be working for us, our marriages are working, our children are doing well, our finances are doing well, our businesses are doing well. What is our attitude? Do we become arrogant? Do we become proud? Do we begin to boast that we have worked hard to get where we are? And when we are in our season of abundance, where God is blessing us with plenty, what do we do with it? Do we remember at that time that some people are also in their season of dryness, and therefore we need to reach out to them and help them? When we are in our season of abundance, do we judge others? I know people who usually will look at people who are suffering and say that they are suffering because they are lazy, they are not hardworking. I will not work hard and give my money to a lazy person. Really, it is not like that. I know people who work so hard, but they still cannot make it. It is not their season. You are not getting what you are getting because you are necessarily working hard. But it is just your season that God has chosen to bless you. It is your season of abundance. It is your season of blessing. The other person who is there going through hard times is not going through hard time because he is not doing something wrong. It's not always the case, but it's just his season. And we should also remember that these seasons are temporal. They are just temporal. I know I knew of a sister who was talking about another sister who was going through divorce, and said that she was going through divorce because she didn't know how to talk to her husband. She was rude. And I was really sad when I heard that, because I'm like, wow, I know women who worship their husband. They are so respectful, and yet their husband is pushing them out of the house. So if you are sitting in your home and you are enjoying your marriage, it is not just because you are doing what you are supposed to do, but it is your season that God has chosen to bless you. When we go through our season of abundance, our season of peace, where everything is going on well with us, how do we relate to the people at the other side? And for those of us who are also going through our season, that things are not going on well with us, do we begin to curse God? Do we begin to question why God will let us go through that whilst others are enjoying? And sometimes we begin to look at other people and we make comparison. And sometimes we go through that season and you have the understanding that is a season that God is taking me through for a reason, and that is not going to be a permanent situation for me. You will begin to appreciate other people. Sometimes we tend to even envy other people who are having everything well, and we don't understand why is it that everything is working for them. Their family is together, everything is working, their children is working, their job, everything is working for them. But in my case, it's the opposite. Why? It's just a season, and seasons, they come and they go. Your attitude at that time is very important. You don't have to look at somebody and be envious, because when that person was also in his season of dryness, of emptiness, of sorrow, you were not there with that person. Seasons come and they will go. But anytime we find ourselves in any of the seasons, let's remember that God is allowing us to go through those seasons just for a moment. And whichever season we find ourselves in, whether we are in a good season or we find ourselves in a bad season, we can get closer to God or we can drift away from God, depending on our attitude. What is our attitude when things are going on well for us? Do we judge other people? Do we look down on other people? Do we brag on what we have done or achieved? And when we are going through a bad season, what do? Do we begin to look at other people and envy them? Do we question every rich people? Everybody having something, we begin to question, how did he get this? Is it through juju? Is it through bad means? It's not everybody, every rich person who acquires his riches or his wealth through bad means. God is able to bless people and make people rich. But sometimes when we are in a situation where we are not getting it, we become envious and we tend to judge people. So whichever season we find ourselves in, let's put on the right attitude so that God will also bless us in our own time. And all we need to know and understand is that whatever season we are, God is expecting us to still serve him and to still glorify him in that season, and still look up to him, that whatever he wants to do with us within that season. And one important thing that will help us to be able to stand firm and to be able to still hold on to God is our foundation. If we have the right foundation, it doesn't matter which season we find ourselves in. We might be shaking. Shakings will come, things will come around. But if we have a strong and solid foundation, we will be able to stand firm. If we have a strong foundation, if our foundation in the Word of God is strong, and we understand God and we understand the dealings of God and how God does his things, and we are able to understand that God is the one who has allowed us to go through all those seasons, it doesn't matter which season we find ourselves, we will still serve God faithfully. We will still be committed to him, and we will not be swayed away. I am here just to encourage you. I don't know which season you find yourself in right now. I don't know whether you are in your good season. I don't know whether you are in your bad season. But all I'm telling you is that whatever season you find yourself in, God expects you to make the most, out of it. God expects you to still stand firm in that season and still glorify his name. Whether it's in abundance or it's in dryness, whether it's in it's your season of favor or it's a season where you are going through challenges, God still expects that in all, his name will be glorified. Seasons are temporal. So I want to encourage you, stand firm and trust in God, for God himself to glorify his name. Bless you.